you guys. Lady Rochelle here, author and founder of Warriors Talk, where we move away from awareness towards action. This is a special edition of Warriors Talk, and I'm here with Rizal Gilmore, aka The Biz. What's up, Rizal?
What's going on, Lady Rochelle? Looking beautiful today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I thought that with this hot topic going on, it's all over social media, that we could not let another day go by without speaking about what's going on with Will and Jada. So I wanted to make sure we cover this hot topic.
No doubt, no doubt. This is going to be very interesting.
Very interesting. So again, this is a special edition of Warriors Talk, covering the hot topic about the entanglement is what it's called with Will and Jada and August Alsina. So when you first heard about, because we've been here, everybody know who Will and Jada is. If you don't know who Will and Jada is, Will is an actor, producer, rapper. Jada is an actress, and she also produces, writes, sings. And then August Alsina is also an R&B artist as well. And so August Alsina, it's been rumors, Rizal. We know it's been rumors years ago talking about Will and Jada being in an open relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that before?
I've heard that before.
Okay, so we've heard it before, and I figure like, okay, is their marriage, is their relationship, however they wanna, whatever that they have for their relationship, it's their relationship. We're not in it. So, well, they made everybody a part of it when they went to that red table.
The infamous red table.
And so now everybody is, putting their 2 cents into Will, Jada, and August Alsina's entanglement. And, when she was at the red table and she mentioned entanglement, everybody was like, what is she talking about? But you know what? She was accurate when she was very clever. So she took some time, or whoever helped her, to actually look up what entanglement means. So I looked it up. And if you look at it, the second definition is a complicated or compromising relationship or situation. And that's exactly what she was in. She just didn't use the word relationship to try to kind of like throw us off. But, it just made us do our homework and go and see what exactly is an entanglement. So just going off of everything that you've seen over the past couple of, the last week when Alsina first testified, did you see the actual interview with him and Angela Lee?
I did not. No.
Okay, so have you heard about him before this happened? Do you remember hearing about him at all?
I just remember him as an R&B singer. It wasn't until he became, I guess his feelings kind of got hurt when he came public with the whole thing. And then in the media, they start making things up. Oh, Will gave his blessing and it was okay. And, I started to think, well, Will and Jada, they have that type of relationship. It's been rumored that, they have the open marriage, which, like you said, that's their marriage. If that's how they want to do their marriage, then fine, by all means. If, Jada feel like she wants to go out there and handle some business with somebody, it was okay. And the same thing with Will. If Will seen something that he needed to take down or whatever the case, it was okay as long as they, talked about it beforehand. But listening to the interview, it was a lot deeper than that. Now, they never said that they wasn't in an open marriage, but it was a lot deeper than that because they was on the verge, like holding on by thread of it being over. So, and I think everybody got it like really screwed up. I mean, really, Alsina came forward because he was hurt. He's hurt. He fell in love with that woman. He fell in love with Jada and thought that something was going to become of with him and Jada because Will and Jada was on the fence and they was leaving and he jumped on like, this is going to be my new boo. And Jada said, no, like, wait. I don't think I can do this. I need to stay with my husband. We had fun, but that's my husband and that's where I need to be. So he got hurt after that and put it out there to everybody like, oh, she did me wrong and, blah, blah, blah. Will said it was okay, which we don't know. We don't never know. But I did like their conversation as they sat down and really discussed it maturely.
Yes, because it could have went so many ways, but the fact that they were able to just sit across and have a conversation without, striking each other or calling each other out of their names. So yeah, that took a lot of maturity on both of their points. Um, I do know, just looking at Will, he looked like he had been crying, or maybe he has allergies, but he looked like, like right before that happened, that he might have been crying. And, I saw a lot of memes going around on Facebook just showing how he was looking, and he didn't look like himself. He didn't look happy at all. He didn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because, normally it's the man telling about what he did versus the woman. So this time it was reversed. It was the woman. So I don't know if that really made him feel some type of way, because he did joke about it. He joked about he felt like being a supportive little husband that's behind the podium with his wife saying I support her to the end. So I don't know if I'm sure he was probably embarrassed. Because he talked about his brand. He has a brand. His brand is a family brand. So to be sitting here going through this and have to publicly tell everybody what's really going on can be embarrassing.
Well, I'm sure he feels a little bit embarrassed, but at the same time, really, this happens every day in America. Why is it just because they're celebrities that now we want to get into their marriage and their business, but we don't make anybody else's marriage or anything, public, or start blasting them? Because this is the first time an entanglement has happened. Trust and believe. And it's not going to be the last time that an entanglement happened. It's going to be plenty of entanglements. It's just now clarified and verified of what we're doing when we get into these entanglements, these type of situations. So now that we know, I guess my question is, how do they move forward? How are they repairing their marriage? How are they letting go and being able to start all over? And I think that was the key thing. I believe I heard them say, or somebody I heard say, that their marriage was going south and they just needed to start all over, clean slates.
I think they needed a break, and that's why Will mentioned that he told Jada, go and be happy, do whatever it is that make you happy. Because he mentioned, I can't make you happy. I'm responsible for my own happiness. And I think a lot of times we put people in that position to say, hey, you're not making me happy. We put those conditions on people, and when they don't meet those conditions, it affects how we feel inside and how we feel about them. So he did mention that, no, Jada is responsible for her own happiness. I'm responsible for my own happiness. And then when we come together, we bring that happiness, our individual's happiness, together.
Yeah, but until you're in it and going through it, it becomes a whole total different situation. We can be on the outside saying, well, they should have did this, they should have did that. But without neither one of us going through that and understanding what Will is dealing with, it's really hard to say. Like you said, Will didn't look good at all. He looked like he's had no sleep for days on end, and eyes look like he's been crying, all different kind of things. Like it's really hard to hear about a spouse, but it's not to say that Will hasn't been doing his thing. I'm quite sure it's been messy on both ends.
That's true. And, a lot of people were saying that, they have this with the open relationship. They have, when you in a relationship in Hollywood, you talk to people and you have these things to where they don't talk. You make them sign something so that they can talk. And they were saying that Jada just got sloppy. And and she didn't handle the situation right, and that's why Will was really upset, was because of that, because she was supposed to make that boy be quiet.
Yeah, she was supposed to keep her little side boo in check, and she didn't. But again, August was under the perception that, hey, we're about to be Hollywood's next best hot thing, you know. I'm gonna do better than Will, you know, or whatever the case. And to said they was friends. You see him with pictures and you know everything. It it's not a crazy situation because, like I said, it's situations that happen every day. I'm just honestly, I'm just happy that Will and Jada were able to talk about it and they're able to stay together and make it work. That's what's most important for me. Sometimes you got to realize what's the most important thing that's coming out of this. It's not how well you fight, but about what you're fighting for. And I'm glad they decided that they were going to fight for their marriage and stay in it together. That right there just shows the love that they have. And it's none of people's business on what happened. They just need to make sure that it doesn't happen and probably change some things with some communication that it doesn't happen again.
Well, I know on the red table they said that they have their communication is great. Like they don't have any secrets. So, this wasn't a surprise to Will. They said that this happened 4 years ago and they had already dealt with it. It's just that August decided to say something. He decided to open his mouth because yeah, he's hurt. He's bitter because like you
Hmm.
said, he thought that he was gonna have this this life with her, and no, she decided, no, I'm gonna make this work with my husband. I'm gonna stay here. And I started looking up like how much Will is worth, and he's worth 250 million, and August is worth 4 million. Not that it matters, but it matters. So Jada really, she had to weigh her options because she told Will sitting at that table, I haven't felt good in a long time, and I just wanted to feel good. And when she got with August, he made her feel good. I really thought that was a blow at Will, but then sometimes we, like I said, we put too much on people to make us feel a certain way, and when they don't, then we're sour about it. And I think that's why they mentioned the unconditional love that they have. Like no matter what the other person do, that none
Hmm.
of it will be a deal breaker for them.
And that's the wonderful thing because only the two of you know what you have. It's only up to you to make things to fix it and make it work. And that's they're at that point now. But to get back to how they got to that point, um, one of the things that I'm deciding to do whenever it is that I get into a relationship is every Friday I want to sit and have a conversation with my significant other. I want to make sure that during this week and during this period and during this time that there was nothing that has offended you or there's nothing that has upset you. Because usually what happens when something go against someone who's in a relationship with somebody, something may come up that'll start the conversation that they didn't like. And next thing you know, you got a whole bunch of daggers being thrown at you. Like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. We was only talking about the dishes not being washed. But now you throwing the dishes, you talking about the kids, yelling about the kids getting baths and all these other things. Like, where did all this stuff come from? Now you got a whole big argument going on. You got pressure sitting on your chest, and now you just throwing those daggers at them. It started out as one, and now it got seven things, and I'm like, whew, you know, I'm dodging all these things because it sat there. So if there was unhappiness going on, it should have been communicated a little bit earlier so these we wouldn't be in the place where we are or where we're going.
That's true. I've learned that a lot of times, instead of us talking to that person, we tend to talk to everybody else, and instead of telling that person, what the issue is, and then everybody else is looking at you like you crazy because you done told all of your business, and the person normally is, sometimes they're the last person to know that something is going on, which is not fair. It's not fair for them to not communicate, because communication in a relationship is like oxygen to you, to yourself. So you need it.
Yeah. If we start doing less talking about me and start talking to me, a lot of the situations will be much better. The crazy part, all it is, it takes a conversation. You could fix a lot of things with just a simple conversation.
That's true. That's true. And like I said, the one thing that Jada and Will said that they had was good communication. So when Jada felt like she wasn't happy, or Will felt like something was not going, that's when they decided to take that break. Okay, go do what you need to do to make yourself happy, because evidently whatever I'm doing is not working. And it's a good thing that they were able to, come back together and connect and say, okay, whatever I was doing out there, it wasn't worth it. I didn't find happiness. I know Jada said to herself, she said that you cannot find happiness outside of yourself. So she was looking for happiness outside of herself, which happiness is things that's happening around you, and she couldn't find it. So now she knows, the happiness is what's happening inside of you. What are you doing inside of you? What type of work are you doing inside of yourself? So sometimes it takes you going out there to realize that there ain't nothing out there. So just come on back home and work it out.
That's true. That is very true. We spend so much time looking for something better, only to end up with something much worse. Just not knowing that what you have is already good. You just need to water it. You need to, have it to flourish. Talk to it, communicate it, trust the process. A lot of times we don't trust the process. It may look good, but everything that look good to you ain't good for you.
That's true. I was thinking about when she said she met August, how he came into the family with through her son, introduced her to him, and how broken and hurt he was because of the life he lived. I know he lost a brother, then he ended up losing a sister, and then he ended up getting custody of his three nieces. And so, he talked about how hurt he was, and Jada talked about how she wanted to help him heal. But in the same process, she was hurting too. So now you got two hurt people trying to heal each other, which ended up being a disaster and just hurting each other even more. So I think that maybe Jada should have turned him over to, somebody, a professional, to be able to help him, because, now it seems like, and I think when this happened, he was 23 at the time. So right now he's 21 years older than her. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, she's a predator." She preyed on him, his weakness, and she should have known better because she was a mother figure. How she's going to sleep with her son's friend. She should have knew better than to cross that line with him.
It seems though everybody always got something to say about your relationship and your marriage, but let them go through it. They wouldn't know what to do. They'll be sitting there boo-hooing and crying, "Oh my God, why he did this to me?" And they wouldn't have a clue on which direction or what to do. So people can say what they want to say, but like I said, unless you're going through it, you're not going to know how to get through it. You can only listen to people who's been through it.
I'm just gonna play devil's advocate a little bit, and I'm gonna go off of what Will was talking about when she did the interview with him for Father's Day, and he talked about having to have. He didn't feel successful unless he had that wife in place, to be able to be accepted as being successful. And for him, his marriage not working makes him feel like he's a failure. And so some people were saying, it's really not love, but it's an attachment with the familiar. Like he's just there because it's familiar. And, he would rather stay in it than so he won't look like a failure versus walking away, and really being happy with somebody else.
Correct. Okay, so the volume has disappeared here on my thing. I may have to.
You may have to go out and come back in.
Oh, wait a minute. Where are you? I'm trying to.
If you guys are just tuning in, this is Warriors Talk with Lady Rochelle and Rosal Gilmore, and we're talking about the entanglement that happened with Will and Jada Smith and August Alsina. And August actually had an interview with Angela Lee, and he talked about him and Jada having a relationship. He talked about Will giving him permission to have this relationship with his wife, and then Will and Jada ended up coming to the table explaining what was really going on with the situation.
Like, I guess every marriage couple who decides to have a open marriage, they have rules that they set. Like, I don't know what the rules are to having an open marriage. Just like there's rules to a threesome, it has to be rules to having an open marriage. I don't know who broke the rules or where the communication broke down at. Um, Me personally, I don't see a need for an open relationship, because if you are my everything, then there's nobody that can come, after you. Like I said, it may look good, but I know I'm not going to find no one like you. So
And
what are the rules?
mentioned Will mentioned that he mentioned that he told Jada, if I didn't meet you, I would be constantly searching for someone like you. Like I would be searching the rest of my life if I didn't meet you. So, um, and then they also they denied the rule of them having a rumor of them having an open relationship. They was like, no, they don't have an open relationship. And Jada mentioned something about, I think it was because she mentioned something about Will being able to do. She was like, Will could do what he wants to do, because he's his own man. And she had to retract and say, Will and I can do what we want to do as long as we can look at ourselves in the mirror and be happy with the choices that we made. We can do what we want. And I think the problem comes when we try to control somebody else's behavior. When we try to control what they do, people know right from wrong. They know if you're getting into an entanglement with somebody, you already know that something's wrong with that. If you're married, you already know. So you don't need, somebody to be, hitting you over the head with a paper saying, hey, don't do that, because if you do, it's gonna mess up our marriage or our trust.
Yeah, well, that's, I think before you get married, that's what the prequel, the relationship part is, that you are, moving forward, living up to getting to that marriage, that you're not doing those things, that you are certain, that there's certainty that this is the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life, through thick and thin, to death do. This is why we say those vows, to honor, love, and cherish till death do us part. Um, I guess at the time it was okay for them to say, yeah, we'll have an open marriage. But when it was time to execute, I think it became a different story. I think some feelings and some raised eyebrows came into play with people. Like, look, I know we talk about it, but I didn't think you were serious. You know,
They said it was a rumor. They said that they never said they had an open relationship. That was just a rumor.
man, the press is something else.
Just even listening to like Denzel Washington when he said, the press, you want to be the first person to report a story, so you'll report it whether it's a lie or the truth. You're gonna go ahead and report it, and you don't realize that you're hurting other people's lives by doing that. So,
Man, buy the news, sell the rumor. That's what they do. Buy the news and sell the rumor, and it actually it works. Um, so, can we look at some pros and cons? What do we have on the list?
pros and cons of what?
Pros and cons of an open marriage.
Oh, are there any? I guess. Hold on. I think it depends on the couple. Like you would be setting your own rules as far as what the pros and cons would be. So you can't, because each relationship is different. They function differently. So we would need different rules inside of our relationship. So
Mm.
we can go off of what we know, or what we've seen or heard.
Well, I'm selfish, so it wouldn't be no open relationship, because if I sign these papers, I got papers on you, you mine, and that's it. I'm not sharing you. I'm putting all this work for all this time, and had this big wedding and in front of my family and stuff, and just to say, hey, you can go over there with this guy. No, it's just not worth it. I ain't going through the headaches. I plan to spend my life with you. I plan to do these things with you. That's it. I am very selfish.
Okay. So So one of the pros of an open relationship is you're honest about your romantic pursuit. So whoever you want to pursue, you're open and you're telling that other person, this is the person that I'm interested in, so that you won't catch them off guard. It won't be like a gut punch. They'll know exactly what's going on.
But
So that's one.
shouldn't that be, and shouldn't you have your significant other should be your best friend, regardless of the fact. You should be able to talk to them about any and everything without having to be on your P's and Q's and worrying about what they're going to say, because you have established that relationship with that person that you can express your feelings and your emotions to without them judging.
Um, a lot of people married, their partners are not their best friend. They just not, because they wasn't friends before they got in the relationship. They ended up just pursuing the romantic part of the relationship and not really saying, hey, I may get to a point in my life to where I don't really like this person, but I love this person. But you want somebody to where if the romantic part is gone, if some reason you had an accident and you can't have sex, or one person got sick and you can't have, you don't have that sexual relationship, that I still like this person, that we're still friends. A lot of marriages don't have that. A lot, if you say, hey, yeah, me and my husband talk about everything. Like, girl, he tells me everything, or I tell my husband everything. There's going to be very few relationships that are like that.
And I always find that hard, because if they're not your best friend, maybe y'all need to go back from the beginning, especially if there's problems that's occurring. Because if you can't go back being friends after the relationship was over, then maybe y'all just weren't friends if you can't go back to being what you were.
Go back, because there was no, because they were never friends. Like right now, Jada said her and Will are working on being friends, because when they got together, they was not friends. They just was in a relationship. They didn't take the time to nurture the friendship. So when you do that and that love is kind of rocky, you like, okay, who is this person I'm with? You can't really relate to them in that way. So that's why some people end up getting into entanglements with other people, because they cannot relate to that person, as a friend, to where you can come to your friend and say, friend, this is not working for me. Like, what we're doing is not working. I'm myself, I'm not happy, and I noticed that you're not happy. So, what are we gonna do?
Listening to them and how they stated how they were at the brink, how it was the end. When do you realize like it's the end? Because sometimes everything ain't for everybody, and if it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. When do you get to that point? What do you do? How do you fix it? When do you say, okay, enough is enough, I'm done here?
I think some people, depending on your life, some people will stay just to say, I'm married, and they really not even sleeping in the same bed. They haven't slept together in years, but they want to save face, to say, we're married, for whatever reason. You have couples like that. You have people in relationships that they function in the public like they together, and then behind closed doors they're not having those conversations. They're not opening up to their partner to say, they're not being honest. You're not being honest with the other person. And I think they're being a little selfish, because they want to save face. Like I said, it's not love anymore. It becomes an attachment. It becomes, I'm familiar with this person. It becomes a soul tie with this person. And, thinking that, oh, I cannot function without this person. And my thing is, when you're in a marriage, you exhaust every option that you have with that person. Exhaust every option, whether that be counseling, whether that be individual counseling, couples counseling, if you need time apart, whatever it is that you need to do, exhaust all of those options before you just call it quits. And then when you walk away, you can walk away with no regrets. And you can walk away saying, I really have tried everything that there was to try. Like I said, a lot of couples that got together, God didn't put them together. He honors the covenant. He honors it. Once you're married, he honors that covenant. Yes, he does. But a lot of couples God did not put together. A lot of us slept together and before marriage, and then we like, okay, now we together, or I got pregnant, now we together. A lot of couples God did not say, here you are, this is the person I want you to marry. No. We got together on our own, and we got together without being friends. We got together not really knowing this other person and not really thinking about, can I really be with this person for the rest of my life? Can I love this person unconditionally? Normally we can't, because when that person does something that we don't like, then our feelings for them change. We start, oh, I don't like him because he won't do X, Y, Z. We love people within conditions. And when our conditions are not met, then either we're going to somebody else to get our conditions met, or we pulling back some of the benefits that you get when you're in a relationship or a marriage. We're pulling back on them because our needs are not met when we haven't even communicated to that person what those needs are.
Ooh, let's jump in the thick. Let's jump in the thick of it. So, I was having a conversation with a young lady, and I told her. She asked me a question. And her question was, what is it that you like from a woman? Um, and I told her, if I tell you what it is that I like, then you would try to be those things. And I don't want you to be those things. I want you to be who you are. And he said, well, what would you change about me? I said, I wouldn't change anything, because I need you to be who you are. Because if I have to change who you are, then you're not the woman for me. If I have to ask for these changes. So I have to accept who you are. If you like Rocky Road ice cream and you just refuse to eat vanilla, that's who you are. If you like strawberry milkshakes with sprinkles on top, that's who you are. I'm not going to change who you are. And if I don't like it or I can't deal with it, then you're just not the one for me, because that doesn't float my boat. It's nothing wrong with what you do, but it's not for me, and I need to move on. So I think with Will and Jada, when they got married, they were young. They was, a hot couple, and I commend them for having their marriage last this long. Even if it went down, tested some deep depths, but now it's on the way back up, because everything that goes down goes back up. So I'm glad they're on their way back up, and hopefully this time they can stay up. But it's something that I always say on this show all the time when it comes to these things, that we got people that's in love that's not together, and people that's together that's not in love. And it happens every day. We just we just going along to just try to get along. And it doesn't make sense. Like, if you're not in love with the person, and just because we love each other doesn't mean that we're supposed to be together. So don't, like you said, we keep trying to force situations that God didn't put us in. And all the time, that's not the person that you're meant for. Sometimes you got to be patient. I know it's rough. It'd be rough for me. I'll be struggling with the whole, like, oh my God, where is she? Like, come on, dude, you keep holding out on me here. Like, what is going on? Then it could be something or somebody that I'm just over missing, because in my mind, I'm thinking, nah, that's not what I want. It's not what I want, but she could be the one that I need. And I keep overlooking that because I keep going for a certain type. I keep wanting this. I keep wanting that. And this and that keep ending me up like, oh my God, have me failing every time, when I should be doing something else, being uncomfortable with somebody, because those are the ones that's going to treat you the best.
I have found in my life that when it comes to divorce, that women normally initiate divorce versus the man. I found that interesting that most women, and like most women, we will remove ourselves mentally and then physically, and then we're out of there after that. But I found that most men won't. They will stay even though they know the relationship is not working. And sometimes they be oblivious to like, oh, what's really going on? Like, I could have told you 20 and 30 times that, something is not right. I need this to happen. And then, at the last minute, they wake up, it's like a light bulb comes on. It's like, oh, wow, she is leaving. Like, she's really leaving. I found that most men will not initiate divorce unless the woman is just really trifling. They won't. They'll stay in it and just do what they want to do on the side and not even, try to rock the boat. It's too much to try to get a divorce. Like, I'll just stay here.
Well, that's because men we were introduced early in our lives that it's cheaper to keep her. So this is why we try to stay in it, because getting a divorce, and especially if you're a successful person, and you may have a lot to lose. So it's like, look, when we said our things, we said for better, for worse. Right now, we at the worst. So how do we fix what we have? I think a lot of men are more inclined to try to fix it. And a lot of women are more inclined to say, well, I gave it all I got. I'm finished with it. And that's why they're, putting in the divorce papers first than the man is. And then we're not too much shocked, but we're more so like, I knew it was coming, but damn, like it's really happening. Like, you take that, drop that side back, like,
Because inclined to fix it and fixing it are totally two different things, totally two different things. So yeah, I think like for women we feel like, I'm wasting time over here. Like I'm wasting time, I'm wasting precious years, and and we want to feel. I don't even want to say happy, because happy is based on what's happening around you. And I really want to say we want to feel like that joy, because joy is continuous. It's not based on what's happening. So we want to feel that joy with that person. And it's like when you're trying over and over and it's just not working. It's like let's just cut it. And women normally don't leave until we have exhausted everything with you, and then we can walk away and know that I'm okay. I want the best for him. I still love him, but he just not. I want him to be with somebody else and not me.
Well, maybe some women. It depends on how the marriage was, because I get a different attitude from some women. It's that lying son of a beep. I'm gonna do my own censors. And he did beep, and I can't stand his beep, beep. So it just gets, yeah. So, you heard the term, it's a nasty divorce, because again, that communication was lacking. There was something that y'all didn't discuss or talk about that kept offending you over and over again. And I'm not saying that the man isn't wrong. He could have did something, he could have cheated, and, she could have been faithful. That would have been very upsetting and detrimental. That could have been a blow, or, she could have had an entanglement or something, went out there and, and the guy, especially if he's not expecting it, and, he's thinking that he know you and you're just not that type of person, and then to get hoodwinked by you, where you bring something like, how can you do this? Like, you should have did your whole beep before the marriage.
What?
Do your whole beep before the marriage.
So we was talking about the pros and cons of an open relationship. Like, are there any pros to an open relationship? You don't have to be monogamous. You don't have to be with one person. You can be with whoever you want to be with, I guess, as long as you're being honest with your partner to say, hey, this is the person I'm going to be with. And that's why I say, because you're setting your own rules. Whatever your rules is, if that's what you want, like I wouldn't function well in an open relationship, because for women, we normally focus on we only can normally focus on one person, like the one person that has our heart. Like me and y'all can focus on more than one woman, because for y'all, sex is not tied. Yes, sex is not tied to y'all emotions if you're not in love with that person. So y'all can deal with multiple women. For women, normally when we're dealing with a man and we're giving our body to that man, our heart and our feelings is tied to that man. So we really don't try to focus on 2, 3 men at one time. Like it just it doesn't work. Like our focus is normally on that one person because
I
it's just
got you.
too much energy. It's just it just drains you to try to do that. So it's like no. Once we have given ourselves to you, it's like okay now we're connected. So we're trying to put all of our energy into that one person, and it's a lot to try to be dealing with these different personalities. Okay, what did he say? He said he like okay, it's just a lot.
Yeah,
You do that in the dating phase, not in the relationship phase.
I think if a woman is able to entertain another man or relationship or entanglement or whatever the case, then I think you're right. I think if she got time to do that, then she has left the
Yeah,
other situation that she's in.
yeah,
And that's trouble.
that's true. Yeah,
That's trouble.
that's
Because
it.
once a woman is gone,
Guys.
boy, oh boy, and she start getting what she needs,
Yeah.
boy, oh boy, it may not be no coming back.
Right. And she can still, like women, we would still, do our obligations. Like we will still, cook, clean, have sex with the husband, with the man, whoever. But then, I'm checked out mentally. I don't know, already checked out. I'm just waiting to check out physically. And once you check out physically, you're like, okay, you can forget it. Because now that person got the whole attention emotionally, mentally, and now physically.
Hmm. I don't know if they continue to do those things
Yeah.
because the fight that I hear with women, like you're not doing such and such. You need to get off your lazy beep and get and they fight about those different things and they're like, well, why am I going to do these things for you when you're not doing anything for me? You're not doing anything for yourself. So they begin to hold out on sex. They begin to not cooking for you or washing clothes. It's like, nah, you do it yourself because now they're putting that energy into that other thing they got going on that's starting to brew over there.
Those,
So,
those are women
nah,
who don't have nothing to lose. A woman that has something to lose, she's going to continue to perform her duties at home until everything is set up on that other side. Once everything is set up on the other side, she's going to remove herself. She's not going to torture that man. Oh, I'm going to withhold sex. She's not going to do all that because she don't want you to know. She don't want you to mess up what she got planned on this side. Because once you get wind of it, you're gonna try to all hell gonna break loose.
oh,
So
of course.
so
Of
those are
course it's going to
women
break loose.
who really
You're going to lose all benefits. The bank accounts is going to get stopped.
so she done already set up her own bank account already. See, that's the point. She done already set up another bank account already. She done already started withdrawing her money out of that account already. She done already switched her name on different papers already. Because men are just like, ain't nothing wrong with my relationship. My relationship is cool. When this woman has been telling you time and time again or showing you this not, I'm not, you barely even come home. When you come
So
home,
do you
I'm asleep.
so do you think that men are naive when it comes to the signs of a relationship coming to an end? Like
Or
we
either
just
they
don't want to let it go that it just can't be?
just blatantly just overlook it, just like, nah, you're right, yeah, nah. She ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. And then they feel like they got caught off guard. Like, wow, where did this come from? You haven't been coming straight home from work for a whole year. We haven't had sex in 6 months. But sometimes you still have sex with them just so none would be the wiser. But I guarantee you, if that relationship is over, that wasn't the first time that it was an issue. That it was an ongoing issue, and it just probably got pushed under the table. And they just got to a point to where, okay, we ain't gonna even discuss them. Every time we discuss it, it's just a big fight, so we're not gonna even discuss it. So one person just check out.
And that's not good because there has to be signs. There has to be something that you see, um, some type of switching up with your partner
Because
that
you don't
she's
check in. You don't check in. Just like you have a job and you do a performance appraisal, every 6 months, you should be doing a performance appraisal on your partner. Okay, babe, where we at? Okay, last 6 months, this is where did anything change? Well, you know what? Now that I really don't like to do that, let me try that. We don't check in with our partner to even see what it is that they like. Are they growing? Because we're growing individually, we're growing together, and then we're growing individually. But we don't really check in with each other to say, has anything changed in these last, Jada and I've been married 23 years. Has anything changed in these last 23 years that we have been together that I should know about? Why aren't we checking in with each other every 6 months to figure out what's going on, or once a year to figure out what's going on? Because you're changing. Either you're going to change together or grow together, or you're going to grow apart.
True, very true. And this may be for another Warriors um, relationship goal Monday or whatever, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Um, how important is compatibility, or should I say, how important is it having things in common with your significant other? For instance, if I'm an investor, do my significant other, should she be interested in investing so we can share the same interests? If I'm a welder, should she show some type of interest of being welding so we can have something, in common for us to build from? Or if I'm an investor and you just work your 9 to 5 and you don't want to know what I got going on or how I make my money, and you don't even care to know, but you complaining about you're not making money, but I'm trying to tell you this is what I do, and you can do the same thing because we're a team. You have to trust me. How important is trusting your partner and having these things, these common interests in common?
Compatibility is very important. There's no way that you're going to be able to have a relationship if you guys don't have nothing in common. It's not like once you get done having sex, then okay, you're going to sit there, you got to go to dinner, you got to spend some type of time together. And what are you going to be spending that time doing? I would say if you are interested in something, or if that's your business, even if I'm not doing it, I'm going to be talking to you, asking you some questions to try to find out what it is that you do, just so when you're talking, I know what you're talking about, the acronyms that you're using with your business. I'm gonna take an interest in it because I know that you like it and you're passionate about it, and that's how you're making your money. It's just like if you're a sports guy and I'm not a sports girl, and you want to watch sports, and if I'm complaining that you're not spending a lot of time with me, then I'm gonna take an interest in sports, the sports that you're watching, and start asking you questions and stuff, just so that I can connect with you on that level. So it takes effort on both parts to say, hey, let's sit down and see what we have in common. I mean, really have something in common. Not like, oh, I'm a Virgo and you're a Cancer, so our signs match. No, like really sit down and find out what it is that you have in common that would make the relationship work.
I'm starting to do that more. All these things I'm really starting to pick up on. I'm starting to learn. And I had mentioned that because I'm thinking like, okay, Will is an actor, Jada is an actor. Um, but what else do they share? What else do they do in common?
The key.
I mean, you got to have more than just one
Right.
thing.
And because Will he's really adventurous. Like he's just out there doing wild things. He's jumping out of planes. He's doing these things, because to him he's fearless. So that's what he likes to do. Jada is more like, and it's okay to have that, to be like, okay, babe, both of us ain't jumping out of plane. You go and I support you. If something happens, one of us needs to be here for the parent. So one of us needs
I'll write the autobiography.
Right. And that's how Kobe and his wife was. It's like, we're not riding, our whole family is not riding the plane together. You and I are not going to ride the plane together. So if something happens, they'll still have one parent. So, she supports him in, what he do. Go ahead. I'm down here on the ground while you're doing all that stuff. I'm here to support you because, that's what you like to do. You don't take away, a person's, what makes them happy. That makes him happy. So go ahead and do it. And I'll support you in whatever it is that you're doing. You have to take a vested interest in what that person is doing. And then sometimes you can create things together that you both can try something new together. And then you can make it a tradition of you doing it every year together. So you really gotta really pull back the layers from the onion and figure out, do we really have something in common? Is it really just sex? Like every time we get together, is the only thing we're talking about is sex? Is that's the only time we're really connecting? Is remove
But
the
what
sex.
if that? But what if that failed? Take for instance, what if y'all don't have anything in common, and you're not even compatible sexually? Do you think that a relationship can come from behind that? Because maybe she likes to have sex fast. He likes to have sex slow,
Okay.
and you're both not on the same wavelength because she complaining that you're taking too long, and he's complaining like, "Look, I like to make love. I don't like to beep." So
So you compromise. On Mondays we gonna have sex fast. On Tuesdays we gonna have sex slow. So then both of us are happy. And if you care about that person's happiness, then you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. But sex is a bonus. Sex should be a bonus. It shouldn't be like I said, the deciding factor, because if you remove sex, then what do you have? What do we have in a relationship? If sex was really off the table, would it survive? And Will and Jada mentioned in their life partnership, it's not about it's not being romantic. It's not that. It's being there for this person no matter what, until death do us part. Whoever that first, they're gonna be there.
yeah,
It's
because
not.
they realize what matters most. And the thing that matters most is that they stay together and they make it work because they are unified. They are one.
And
They
sex,
are,
they said sex was off the table. It's not sex. It's
yeah,
about.
because I'm sure, they had their moment. It has to be something else that's going to take them to that next level of where they need to be with their marriage and everything.
So we're talking about entanglement, you guys. If you're just joining in, there are so many opinions going on about Will, Jada, and August Alsina and their entanglement. That's the word that Jada used. And it's so many people are taking a look at their own relationships and figuring out what's really going on in your own relationship. And you have to sit down and say, hey, other people's opinion does not matter. That's your life, and ultimately you are behind those closed doors. So you're going to be the one that's having to deal with what's going on. So you have to sit down and figure out what type of rules. I don't even want to say rules. What type of things do you have in your relationships that's making the relationship work? Like, what is it that makes a relationship work?
Hmm.
like like in the past, your past, well, you were married until death do you part. So what would you say that was in your relationship that made that relationship work?
I think one of the things that made our relationship work was that we were young. So we were ambitious because we met in high school. So we were ambitious, just living our life. We were focused and looking at towards the future, um, with things to come. How can we get the house? How can we get better jobs? We was looking at our careers. We were, trying to make each other better to level up to the next thing. So it was fun. We was um, doing this and doing that. We was going out here, going out there. But with those things, being that we were so young, um, there came a point of there was like my wife didn't get a chance to experience a lot of things, when we met. So, there was some entanglements, going on, and it's fine. But I realized what matters most because I was no angel, myself. And just thinking back, I appreciate the lessons that she has taught me and that I've learned. And I think that was one of the big things about our marriage, was just having it to work. Like, hey, look, we're married, we're one. I don't care what happens, what happened, or what's going on. We are one. And for everybody to be coming into Will and Jada's married. It's none of your business. You don't sleep with them every night. It's just that they just happen to be public figures. Go to those other people who got things going on in their marriage. Look at all the women that's going through domestic violence. I don't see nobody stepping up. We may march, but guess what? She right back. That dude doing the same thing. So
Yeah, I mean, relationships are tough enough without adding everything else that comes along outside domestic violence, the infidelity, like, and then other people's opinion. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, and I think that's why most people choose to keep their relationships private, not secret, but private, because they feel like it has a better chance of succeeding if they're not really putting everything out there, in the public, everything out there on Facebook. Because sometimes you notice people don't even post their partners, and they don't even change their relationship status. Like, why? Because a lot of people get in your business, and then next thing you know, you're not together. So let's just leave this private and not really put everything out there, because people can be hurtful.
yeah, because you'll sit there, you'll listen to everybody else, but you won't listen to me. You won't come and talk to me, but you'll listen to the rumors. You'll listen to what people say, and I don't know why women, and it's mostly women that do this. If a guy has talked to you and things didn't work out, and he meets your girlfriend, oh, I used to talk to him. You don't want to talk to him because blah 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 because uh he got this little mold that's disgusting, girl. You might just leave him alone, just move on, find somebody else. Like they just straight discourage you, like real, for real, and you just get him like, oh my god. So now I got to look out for a mole, and that's not even look. That's not even your red flag. She's giving you her red flags, and you taking on her red flags and adopting into your uh, criticism and judgmental about this person without even giving it a true chance. Hmm. Oh yeah, next relationship Monday is gonna be lit.
Oh, entanglement. When I first heard that word, I was like, why would she choose that choice of word when it comes to the relationship? Is because she was entangled into something that she knew she had no business being into. And when you think about something as being tangled, it's kind of like mingled together. It's not put together nicely. It's like just put together in a disarray. And that basically describes her relationship with Alcina. So I say, if you're gonna get married, really think about the person that you're gonna be with. I mean, really, just kind of like strip back the layers and really get to know that person, really be friends with that person, honestly, and try to have that policy of being honest with each other. And I know some people's like, oh, I can't tell my partner everything. Like, no, my partner would not understand. But if you start out that way, and if that's the norm for your relationship, then you can do that. And if that person loves you and they understand, okay, this is our circle of trust. Whatever I say inside of this circle of trust, is not going to be held against me. And some people say, well, I didn't tell you because, I didn't want to hurt your feelings, or, you. A lot of men say this: women can handle the truth. I say men can't handle telling the truth, so that's why they don't do it. But as far as women not handling the truth, how would you know if you never tell the truth? If you never tell us the truth, how do you know we can't handle it?
That's true. That's true. Um, I think it comes down to because men, we start off, when we're in that honeymoon phase. Oh, I would never hurt you. And then when you do that thing that that's going to hurt them, you try to cover it up so you won't let them know that yes, I have hurt you. So that's where the lies become. And I guess that's why they say you're not going to be able to handle the truth because what I have to tell you is going to hurt you. The very thing that you might have just came from, or the very thing that I told you I would never do to you, I've done. So the trust is going to be broken. So, yeah. So,
I was
yeah.
just get it out of the way. Get it out of the way up front and just say it. It's a lot of stress on you when you try to hide lies and you try to cover up things. Just say it. Let that person deal with it. This is what it is. And just let them deal with it. If they can't handle it, they'll walk away if they can. But you just, don't take away that option for that person to know what's going on. Don't decide for them that, yeah, I'm going to do this and not going to tell that person. Don't decide for that person because you don't have that right. You're taking that person's right away when you do that. So just tell them. Just be upfront. And I know that takes a lot. If you're not practicing it now, start practicing it. Just start telling people, just be upfront and see how they respond to it. You've done your job. You was honest. You was honest.
This is true.
And
This is true.
that's what's happening when you're not honest. And, I think back to Will and Jada being at that red table and just looking at the look on Will's face and how and then they went through this 4 years ago. So it's like, I don't know why he was upset. He would know. I don't know what was going on in the conversation that him and Jada have. I know Will is not a man that try to mask his feelings. Like, he is a man that he's not afraid to shed a tear. If that's what he's feeling, he normally sheds tears. So just to see them go through what they go through, because I know a lot of people looked at them as this perfect couple. They have this great life. He's this. He was named, the top movie star in Hollywood. So just having that, it's a lot of pressure. First of all, to have that on you and to know that things are crumbling in your marriage, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I hope that the both of them can really get to a place to where they can be honest with themselves, to say we need to move forward or we don't, and be okay with their situation and not let what other people are putting on them to make the decision for them. If they together they decide we're not going to do this, then be okay with that and walk away, or be okay with saying we really truly going to stick in this. Like Jada said, you're going to be on one side of the house with somebody. I'm going to be on one side of the house with somebody, but we're going to be in this joke until death do us part. I don't agree with that, but that's not my marriage. It's not my marriage. I would prefer to get out of that marriage. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I'm not. I say if we're done, we're done. I'm not gonna try to hold you back from being with whoever you need to go out there and be with and fulfill your happiness. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna love you and love you enough to I'll love you even if it's not with me. Even if it's not with me. I'm not gonna entangle you into something to have you staying to where you have to go out and cheat because you don't want to break this off because she's gonna be devastated. People gonna be devastated. No, this is about us. What is it that we really want in this relationship? And sometimes people stay because they want to save face, and they want to save face for everybody else. But inside of their relationship, it's crumbled. It's been over a long time ago. God done already walked away from the relationship, and y'all still there hanging on.
Well, that's because the public keeps trying to keep things together. It's the public that's all in the marriage and saying this and saying that. Like, why are we so concerned about their marriage? Why are we so much in there? I read this post today. The best thing about Will and Jada's marriage is that the cops that killed Breonna Taylor still hasn't been arrested yet. Why do we have so much focus? Our focus is on the wrong things. Who cares about an entanglement? Sure, those two know what happened. They know they messed up. They're working on fixing it. I love it. But let's get back to the real issue at hand that we have here. I mean, is America tired of hearing about the coronavirus and everything that they're now shining light on this? Or is this just overshadowing the fact that we got a serious problem going on in America?
They need something else. We need something else to focus on. So this is something else to take your man off all the killing, Black Lives Matter, and the coronavirus. So now we can focus on Will and Jada and tell them what's wrong with their marriage instead of, trying to figure out what's going on in our own households.
Our people, I swear. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So I just pray that they get to, and I believe that they're at that point right now to where they can get to a place to where it really doesn't matter what other people think, but they're doing they're doing what makes them feel comfortable and to keep them connected with each other. And I believe that they're doing that right now. I believe that they are.
Yeah, because actually, this is, the whole situation is old.
4 years
It,
old. 4 years old.
yeah, like really, like come on, it's almost half a decade old, and we're going on about who cares? We got other issues.
Somebody didn't get closure. When you don't get closure, then you stay in that place, which is not a good thing. So I believe Asina, he didn't get closure. So, because he didn't get close, because remember Jada said she just stopped talking to him cold turkey. And he mentioned that
Hmm.
he just cut the relationship off. He cut it off. Like one day, I think when his sister died, his sister died of cancer. And he was like, she was young. Why did she have to die? And he just thought about the relationship with Jada, and he just cut it off. Like, I'm not living like this. I'm not living in secret. I'm not. So he cut it off. So, and I really don't think he really got closure, even though he cut it off. I don't really think he got the closure that he really wanted, because she didn't go. And I don't know if she like went after him and say, hey, what's up? Why are you not returning my calls? What's going on? I don't know if she did that, or she was just like, okay, good. He cut it off. Hey, I'm relieved. But she didn't. She probably had no idea that he was gonna talk. And a lot of people saying he was talking because his album came out a couple of days after that. Like, they felt like he was doing it because of that, because his album was coming out. So this was like a publicity stunt in a way.
And it very well could be, because it does happen, you know. But I'm just glad they're in the space that they're in now, and they're now openly they're talking about it, and regardless of what the public say, only them people know what they have and where it's going to go from there. They're the only people that's in that marriage.
Ain't ain't nothing like telling your own truth. That's why I'm glad they actually came to the red table. Is because, like Will was saying, it was a lot of stuff being said that they said that they didn't say. So it's nothing like having power in telling your own truth. Not some people saying, yeah, there's power in being quiet too. But when you're in a spot like Will and Jada, and they have like sponsorships and monies, they have to get out there and say something. They have to get out there and clear the air. And so they did that. So I'm hoping people would just fall back and allow them to heal. Allow them to heal.
But wait a minute, how is as they called him Aug? How is he worth 4 million? What did
Well,
his album do? I can't even remember a song. I know he an R&B singer, but what was the song he had out?
I don't know, but I looked it up today, and he's worth 4 million, and Will is worth 250 million. So, and he's probably gonna be worth more than that right after this happens, because I'm sure that album is gonna sell, because people want to know, they're nosy. They don't want
Hmm.
to deal with their own hurt, so they'll dig in somebody else's closet instead of cleaning their own closet.
That number is going to be suspect, like these corona cases. That says
That's true.
4 million, huh? Did
So
he even? I don't even think. Did he even go platinum? Did he even go gold to four? Mm.
I don't think so. I can't even tell you that a song that I don't even know. I don't know.
Well, you like me? I just know he's a R. I can't remember the song he sung. I do remember he had a song, and I think I liked, but I can't remember it. So, what type of impact did he really have?
I don't know. It says he is an American songwriter. He was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. He was formerly signed to Def Jam's Recordings. He released his first mixtape called The Product in 2012. And then he released another one, Life Under the Gun, in 2013. And his platinum selling single is called I Love This SHIT. That was in 2015.
Uh,
I don't
I think I remember it.
I don't remember hearing it. I have no idea how that sounds. Okay,
Now I got to go YouTube
hold on,
it.
hold on. Now you remember.
I remember it because I thought it was what's the kid Trey Songs or somebody.
Yes, that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
That's who. Yeah, that's how I remember because I
Okay.
thought it was Trey Songs and it was him. I was like, he came. I don't know this guy. Okay, well, yeah, you cut it quick.
Oh, so how do we wrap this up? The entanglement.
I would say this: um, if you can't stop thinking about it, don't stop working for it. If you feel as though that marriage or whatever relationship or whatever job, it's not just with relate. It doesn't just stop there with relationship. Whatever you feel as though is worth it, don't stop fighting for it. And I'm glad that Jada came to the realization that she was willing to fight for her marriage and for her and Will to stay together. Now that right there is going to be an American like fairy tale. Like they didn't break. They might have bent a little bit, but they didn't break. And that gives an example for other marriages, that's going through it. Like, hey, we can work this out, just like Will and Jada did. So yeah, that's like my final thought.
Wow, mine is totally the opposite. I would say don't be afraid to walk away from something that's no longer serving you. And don't worry about other people's opinion of what it is that, you decide that what makes you happy. And like Jada said, don't allow what's happening around you and outside of you to play a role in your happiness.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that's a wrap.
All right, always a pleasure. My Warriors talk. I love you guys out there. I love doing this every Monday/Sunday. Today, special edition of Warriors talk. Maybe we can start getting some more things like this going when we have to do a continuation on topics, hot topics when they pop up like this. This was pretty good, but as everybody say, we always, we mesh together very well, like salt and pepper. So, you know, I definitely appreciate you, and I love you very much.
Awesome. I love you more. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
You do the same. Good night, Warriors talk. Y'all enjoy.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady Rochelle, where we are changing lives one warrior at a time. And remember, as the Bible said, love covers a multitude of sins.